stages of moving into ascension and doing the last pieces necessary. And I want to say how happy I am that you are on this path, and the work that you've all done is exceptional. You people are all light workers that are sitting in here. You are expanding the light within and letting it shine for others, and you are doing the work so that it's necessary for the planet to ascend, which your light affects the light of Mother Earth. And Mother Earth is very grateful that you are doing this work, because it is actually making a difference in the ascension of the planet. Each person that raises their energy into more and more light, higher vibrations of love, is doing a great service, and that is why you came. So many people say, what is my purpose? You came to provide light to the earth and light to the people that you're around, so they could see that as you are the example, they too can follow your lead. You are pioneers, if you might call it, for the masses that are awakening at this time. And there's huge awakenings going on, is why Mother Earth is able to actually move into this healthier place, which we are on the threshold, as I said before, on the threshold of moving into the new age. So congratulations, everybody, for the work you've done at this point and in helping others. This is a terrific time to know that your service in helping others has not gone unnoticed, and how valuable that is. Because as you expand, God is energy and expansion, and in helping others you expand not only your energy, but you help others to expand their energy, and it becomes exponentially multiplied, which we explained in the last channeling. So congratulations on bringing more love to earth. Ascension is really about bringing heaven to earth. As you know, the Lord's Prayer mentions thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And as you open your hearts, God is in the heaven inside of you. And as you open up your hearts and share it with others in service, that heaven then comes to earth. And so many people are afraid to open their heart. They're afraid. As we've heard you expressing earlier, some people were involved with bullies, or people teaching you to be frightened or whatever. Their hearts are closed when that happens, and it's very important that you open your heart and let that love and that light out. And that's what's making the changes in our world today. More people have come into understanding, not only do you want to talk about God, you want to experience God. And that's what we're talking and doing more about today, is to help you do that. 2 or 3 emotional things that I wanted to help you with today, and our channelings have all been, when I come in, I am very, very concerned about ascension, among other hats I wear, but ascension is so vital for our spiritual growth. The rest will fall in place, and we are putting in place the necessary foundations in government and the planet throughout all the different countries necessary for changes that will be stable, and will now, as we move into the higher energy of the new age, will be able to function from a solid foundation. You've heard the difference between building your house on sand and building your house on a solid rock, which is the rock of God, and we are actually going through that transition right now. The sand is the fear-based society that has been perpetuated by the dark and trying to control it. And people materially trying to fill that void inside with all the goodies that technology provides, all the TV games and all the telephones that are so fancy today, and all the, if I have a fancier car or a newer house kinds of mentality, that's building your house on sand, thinking that that will give you the inner stability and fulfillment that you're longing for, but we have a surprise for you. Archangel Michael will be coming in to help you make that shift and into that change of experiencing today. So we are talking about how the threads that still hang on to your humanness, because as we said earlier in a channeling, that it's about honesty, sincerity, and detachment. And when you're attached to material things or attached to people or even attached to entities from the other side, that's possible to be attached to earthbound entities, and Marilyn has detached many from people that have come for help. Whatever attachment that you have needs to be severed. So we are going to talk about some attachments right now that are sometimes a little difficult to look at because it's easier to be busy. One is doubt. So I heard a lady recently in a spiritual group talking about her doubt. And she has been in spiritual groups for many years, and everyone at some point has doubt. I think that's typical of growing up and becoming a more mature spiritual person. However, doubt separates you from God. And that's part of being at effect. You're being, the pain of that is very painful, to be in doubt that it's going to not turn out like you want it to, rather than the way it is intended to, and might even be better than you can plan. So we want you to realize that doubt is going to continue a path you don't want to be on. So to make a shift in your energy to faith, always have faith and trust. Sunny earlier learned a little bit about why trust is a problem for her. But she knows today that trust is the answer, to trust herself and to trust God. And we all need to learn that lesson. And the more you do it on 100% basis, the better results you will get. And so we need to remind ourselves always that, and Mac, about the government problems, trust God first. Trust God first. Have faith. There is a bigger plan than what you are seeing right now. Okay? You just are seeing your part of the picture, and God has a bigger picture. And it will, I'll give you the end of the story, everybody. It all turns out just fine. So I want you not to worry about the little things that come up on a day-by-day basis. They are truly people's lessons to learn, and they have placed themselves in those situations. The people that died in the tsunami, that was their exit to leave. That was agreed upon. They needed a way to exit for having completed their learning experiences at that point in their growth, and that was how it was determined that it would occur. So you see, it's not always bad. It's just necessary for things to work out and be improved along the path. You see, how it works is there is a disorder, and as you put life into order, then you come into harmony. And that's what we're all working towards, is harmony. So not to disrupt or be concerned about other people's lessons, but to be very concerned about your own strength of connection to God. Keep yourself as close to God as possible. And Mac, when you talk about being in the center of the hurricane, that's what you're actually doing. And you need to remember the people that are being kicked around out there. That might just be the lesson they need to bring them to their knees. It's sad sometimes that we have to learn through pain, isn't it, Mac?
Yes, it is.
But sometimes if you get in the way of that, they might not ever learn. That might get changed in such a way that it disrupts the situation that's been very carefully planned by their guides, and to let them have their own experience. Does that help a little?
A little.
A little. Well, you're a very very compassionate person, Mac, and we appreciate that.
Thank you.
So what you want to know is that if you are being critical of somebody, how painful that is to their inner essence. Criticism is on the same level of dark energy, low energy as sarcasm. It tears the flesh. It tears and spoils the soul at a very crucial inner part. And if you are criticizing others, you are really projecting your own criticism of yourself. And we want you to stop any criticism, any doubt, because you are not to criticize God's handiwork. When you criticize others, you're criticizing yourself, and you are a beautiful child of God. Don't bring that on yourself anymore. Don't be critical of yourself. This is separating you from God and keeping you out of that center that you truly want to be in, of God's love and grace. So as we are detaching these threads, these last threads that people need to look at, that is a very, very important one. Judgment is the other one. That if you're judging somebody, you're judging yourself. And again, you are doing the best you can at this point. So not to be so hard on yourself. It's very easy to beat yourself up. However, God didn't make junk. You are beautiful, beautiful spirits. And just admire what lovely work God did with you. That you are experiencing this beautiful planet, and it's going to even be created and recreated into the Garden of Eden shortly. The extraterrestrials are here to bring about, they very shortly have the equipment, especially when they can finally land in safety, to restore the pollution, the air back to its more pure essence, restore the rivers that have been polluted, the grounds, the tree reforestation, all the plants and animals that have died because of various worthless reasons of killing them off, will all be brought back to a beautiful heaven on earth. So we do not have anything to judge. We are actually have a great joy to celebrate, and we want to do that today. So please be ready to detach all those strings that you still have to anything out there and stay within the circle. We're going to want you to imagine that you're inside the circle of God, God's love and grace. And if you at this point see any strings attached to people, situations beyond you, where you still have a negative feeling or sadness, something that beyond yourself, we want those all to be cut off, and that's why Archangel Michael's coming in. So I want you to know that raising your energy is raising the planet. You are doing a marvelous job raising your personal energies by relaxing and enjoying your life, and by knowing that every moment is just right now, and you can be happy in that moment, and you have a moment upon moment, and you have joy. So we are moving into the joy of the golden age. I want to leave you now so Archangel Michael can help you do and move that change of your consciousness now, because you realize this is a very important healing today, that those different fragments of your soul can finally come back and be put together so your soul is back whole, and that it is there as a whole spirit. Did you know you were a Holy Spirit before you came? And you are being returned to your whole spirit. May I wish you good afternoon and have a lovely day.
Thank you, John. Thank you.